I'm the same as you. I'll say no to so many things on the weekends. Like I'm not as social as I used to be because I'm driving the ship. No one else is doing it for me. I work weekends. I work nights. I work,
Yeah.
the podcast has taken up way more of my time. I can't afford to have somebody edit for me and to hire out, ABC help. I'm not there yet, but I'm working towards something this kicking off in the future, and
Yeah.
so when you can make the time, you make the time. If you do need the downtime, I truly believe if you have the vision in your head of where you want to go, if you take a couple days off, it's okay.
Yeah.
Not the end of
Yeah.
the world.
I know, and I definitely do take a few days off. Like I feel like my problem is if I go out at the weekend and have a big night out, that is my creative juices gone
Yeah.
for like a good 3 or 4 days.
Do you ever go out and like go sober?
No.
Welcome back to Graphic Content, the podcast where we talk all things who, why, and the what the moments along the way. I'm your host, Gio, and what's on brand for me this week is streaming The Get Down so much that I've been singing it in my dreams. My guest today is one of my faves, Jamie Unknown. He's a DJ, producer, creative operator, and someone who has quietly built a career by saying yes to curiosity. From teaching primary school to touring internationally, he's now playing festivals like Creamfields and Glastonbury, making him one of the UK's most exciting new artists. He's someone who understands that creativity isn't just what you make, it's how you move, how you adapt, and how you stay honest with yourself while the ground keeps shifting. Jamie, welcome to Graphic Content.
Thank you so much for having me. That was a lovely introduction.
Good, I'm glad. I always I get the information from everybody beforehand and I think, okay, how do I like structure this? Because we've never met. This is the first time we're
Mm.
meeting, and I'm like, how do I like bring this all together? But I'm glad that you found it to be good.
That's great. It was really nice. Thank you. That's a
Yeah.
lovely way to. I mean, it's 6 p.m. here in London, so that's a lovely way to finish work and join this call, this podcast.
This is okay. I said this. I wanted to save this for the recording. This
Yeah.
to me, me talking to you is like, I'm not trying to sound like fangirl, but like I'm fangirling. This is a big deal to me. Like genuinely, like I'm not trying to be like, oh my god, like I'm being serious. Like this is a get for me.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Do you know what I'm really like? I hate getting like compliments or
Compliments.
anything like that. So, but no, genuinely, it's lovely to hear. I think, yeah, to have fans in Canada means the world. So
Mhm.
we'll have a fan at least.
No, you've got a few. My whole crew here, I brought so okay, I got to get into how I even
Yeah,
came
yeah, yeah, yeah,
across.
yeah, yeah.
So, The Get Down, that song, that is what has brought me to finding you. Where did that song come from? Like tell me like what went into that song first. I want to hear from you, and then I'm going to tell you how I came to get to know you.
I started making that song. What is it, like 3 years ago? Is it 3 years ago? It must be, yeah. Basically, I just started getting like small bookings for festivals,
Mhm.
and I wanted to make a tune that I could end those sets with, because obviously it builds and it's quite euphoric and the pianos come in. So I
So
wanted,
good.
I wanted, I wanted that, and so I made it, and then I took it to these festivals, and it turns out there was no one in the crowd at these festivals. So I,
Mm.
so I didn't even end up playing it. So yeah, so the main reason I made it, I didn't even get the chance to experience that with people responding to the record. But
Mhm.
and then I sent it to a label, Part Four Records, and I like thought there was something special about it. I really did, and they were like, "Yeah, it's cool," like, "Yeah, we can put it out." And like, props to Part Four, they're now my management.
Mhm.
And anyway, they put it out, and at this point, I guess I was still developing as an artist on Spotify, Apple, and stuff. So
Yeah, yeah.
it came out, and it didn't get any like Spotify editorial support or anything, but it was hammered at Radio One on Friday night, which is like one of the best things you can get really in terms of radio support. They were all playing it. Danny Howard played it, Sarah Story, Pete Tong, um, which is a really nice accolade to have. And then from that, DJ started playing it. Tisha, who I think you might mention in a second.
Yes.
Yeah, that tune is kind of what started getting the ball rolling with this career.
To anyone listening, pause this episode and go to whatever you stream and listen to that song. It is like pure house magic. So to give you, now that we're talking, because I've texted you and, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
about it. Paint the picture. So it's Pride Toronto 2013. I'm at the Glitterbox party in on Sugar Beach at Sugar Beach.
2023, not
2023.
2013.
Yes. Yeah. So we've, like, no, we've been
Yeah,
talking for 3 years, but I'm at this party and it's like peak summer, beach energy, sunny, hot, like a crowd of people. Everyone there's like having a good time. And
yeah.
normally when I go to these things, like if I go to a show, like I will take minimal videos. I'm not
Right, okay.
really just for the memory, but I'm not one of those like phones in the air. So Tisha
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
who was on stage, and I hear the early rumblings of like the
Do,
buildup.
do, 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 do,
And I
do.
literally, my phone came out so fast, and I was like, this is like the sickest visual. I have this. I don't know if I
You
tagged
haven't
you in
said
it.
it to me.
I
Maybe
Okay.
you
I,
have.
I will send it
Yeah.
to you after this. I have it on my phone, and I was like, this song is sick. Like for my own purposes, like I didn't even think like, oh, I'm gonna Shazam or whatever the hell. When I got back to the Airbnb I was staying at, immediately looked it up. I was like Shazamming it from my phone while playing the video, like so I could figure out who it was.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
Yes, it was honestly that, and that's how I came to know who you are. And the fact that you're like, I've been listening to your music now for 3 years, and so the fact that you're doing this, like, this is, like I said, not to blow smoke, but this is like, I feel like I've been seeing the last couple of years for you, and I'm just like super excited for everything that you're doing.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think I remember when you first reached out and you were like, massive fan, love your music. And that must have been like 3 years ago. Yeah.
It was.
So, yeah, here we are.
Besides that, like the Missy dub, like there's been so many tracks that you put out, like the Get Down, Got Me, Vortex, like
Yeah.
I have been really into it. So for you, like, how did you get into music in the first place? Like, where did that stem from?
We're talking about when I was like 5 years old. Like, I love music. I always had, I don't know, just such a desire, and I like listened to so much. I think, my parents, they listened to a lot of like Ibiza classics and stuff, and I think that's what first really got me into it, is like the emotion that it would give you. And from that point, I was kind of just hooked. I had like an MP3 player. The funny thing is, right, I still remember though the first like CDs I ever bought. Most
Hmm.
DJs or artists would be like, "Yeah, I like got like the Prodigy or like the Underworld or something really cool." Now mine was Pussycat Dolls, I
Yeah.
think, or like Usher or something. I remember
Yeah.
having those albums. So like my love for electronic music developed over a long period of time. But I always loved music.
Hmm.
But this is quite a long story, I guess. But
I
I
got all
never
day.
thought. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me too. So um, I guess I didn't really properly get into music in terms of DJing or producing until I was like 20, or trying to anyway. I think for someone who was so into music, I never thought about doing DJing or doing production. I just enjoyed going to parties and listening to music. And yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, I never actually
Yeah.
thought at the time, you're so passionate about this. Why don't you do that? It's funny though, like a couple of years ago, I was clearing out my mum's shed and I found an old notepad with Bart Simpson on the front from when I was 7 years old. I'll have to send it to you. And inside, there's a drawing of me, like a really, really bad drawing. Obviously, you're seven, like behind the decks. And my name was DJ James. Obviously always had it somewhere. It just
You
took a
manifested it
while.
in
I
a way.
manifested it. I still have that on my wall now at home to like motivate me.
I
So
love
yeah.
that. I love that your parents have like the Ibiza albums. Like that to me is, they taught
Yeah,
you well.
100%. And I love all electronic music. I love all music. Like if you look at my Spotify Wrapped or like my top 100 tunes, like the first one on there was Lola Young with Messi. Like don't get me wrong, even though I'm heavily involved in the industry and electronic music, I listen to so much, but I always have a special love for like trance music and Ibiza music.
Yeah, but that's the thing. All of those different styles that you listen to, they inform what you're
Mm.
doing, right? You can't just, if you live in a bubble of the same then you're never gonna try or
100%.
experiment in different ways.
100%.
I love music. Like I'm, the way you're describing it, I've never gone down
Mm.
the path of like doing my own, but this is why
Mm.
I like, to me, I love talking to people who are in the music industry because I think you're my fourth DJ that I've had on now.
Really?
Yes.
I need to catch up and, like, watch the other ones. I'll be honest, I haven't yet, but
Oh, listen, any of my friends who are like, "Oh, like, sorry, I haven't listened." I'm like, "I don't care." Like, if you don't listen, I'm not gonna be like, "Why aren't you listening to me talk?" I see you on a regular basis. You don't need to hear my voice.
Yeah, fair.
But no, like, I just love hearing about, how people got into it, what their inspiration is, what it is that they pull from as far as inspiration.
Mm.
I think that there's so much out there, right? And so for you, like when you're creating a song or you're like, hey, I have inspiration for something, how do you know that something for you is like authentically Jamie Unknown?
More often than not, I like, and as I'm sure a lot of other artists do, is like I will use a lot of other tracks to reference. If I like something from a track, like I will use that and sort of not copy it, but do something very similar. But I guess something that's very genuine in my own is it never sounds the same as what I'm trying to make,
Hmm.
even though I'm trying to make it sound really similar. I also think, going back to what we were saying about how I have a love for so many different styles of music, I like to try and incorporate that into what I'm making. People ask me very often, what style of music do you play? Like yesterday, I was doing a radio interview, and they were like, "Okay, so tell me about the Jamie Unknown sound," and I was like, because I can't really explain it because I have such a love for so much music. There's bits of like different genres sprinkled in. I guess mainly, arguably, it's house and garage.
Hmm.
But like I like to think I walk like a tightrope between the two. Equally, if you ever come to see me DJ, like I won't ever play one genre. I'll play a mixture of stuff. And I think that's important as a DJ. I don't think anyone should ever be, what's the word, pushed cubby hold, or like pushed into one particular
Yeah,
thing.
pigeonholed.
Pigeonholed, thank you. um, Cubbyhole. Yeah, I think it's important to be able to be yourself and not have to stick to one thing. Where's the fun in that? If someone's coming to see me play, they won't necessarily know what I'm going to play.
Yeah,
It's much better than going to see a DJ who you know exactly what they're going to play. And
100.
and don't get me wrong, the artists that do that, they do that because they're really good at it, and that particular set, which they might have played 100 times over, works really well. But I don't know. I like the enjoyment of going, also not knowing exactly what I'm going to play.
So you don't plan ahead of time. You're just like you're vibing with what's in the moment.
I do, but like I should more than I do. I should more than I do. Like one of the big festivals I played at this summer, I literally sorted my set out 2 hours or like 2.5 hours before I went to play,
Okay.
which which like that's fine. Like I know loads of artists do that, but like generally I'd like to have a bit more of an understanding of what I'm going to play. It was more of just a case of yeah, just chucking stuff in.
Hmm.
But then I probably didn't play half of it. But yeah, sorry, coming back to what you're saying. No, I don't expect. But yeah, I'll probably download maybe like 15 new tunes,
Hmm.
which I might go to. I just like going through our playlist, finding gems that I haven't played in a year, 6 months, 2 years, whatever. I think that's more fun. Yeah.
And that's the thing too. Like as long as it's the feeling, right? If you're feeling what the music is playing and the energy, that's the
Mm,
important thing. I always say my favorite shows that I go to are when I'm taken on a journey. And it's
100%.
not just the same. Like listen, I've been to a lot of the really popular guys who are out there and they play all
Mm,
their hits. And which is great. There's a place for that in the world.
yeah.
But I love when I'm surprised with the direction that whoever's in charge on stage is going in.
Mm,
That's the thing that
mm.
that really like connects me. And listening to your sets on SoundCloud, I really or YouTube, I really like. And I'm not trying to just blow smoke up your ass for the sake of it. I'm being genuine, like I'm just being earnest.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
way that you can switch it up where you're going a little harder, then you go house route, then you go a
Mm,
bit more trance or techno, like I really vibe with that because it keeps it interesting. Also, that's what
mm,
life is really about. Not to sound cheese, but that's just
mm.
how I
No, of
approach things.
course.
That you got to
Yeah.
have variety, right?
Yeah, 100%. I think, and it's important as well to add that I've had people before say to me, what sound do you want to make and stuff like with my production. And I just don't know.
Hmm.
Like, obviously I started like before I even released music, I was making like electronica, like breakbeat sort of emotional stuff. And then that went on to like this house, like full blown house route. And then I did the Get Down, which obviously had the like organ garage bits, and then I did Missy Dub, and then I did Feel It, which was more house. And then yeah, I'm all over the place, but in a good way, I think.
Hmm.
Basically,
Oh yeah. Even in, so I work in branding, and a
mm,
lot of times when you're talking to clients or working with clients, a lot of the whole MO around creating a brand is that there's clarity and
mm,
simplicity, so that the audience can
yeah,
understand you right away. And
mm,
even as somebody who I work in that field, I help so many businesses, so many brands to do this. Me myself, I'm like, I don't know where I want to go with it. So I totally get
yeah,
it. There's so many things, so many avenues to say,
100%.
I'm one thing. And also, we live in, it's 2026. Like, we live in a world now where I said this in a previous episode, the multi hyphenate of, I do ABC
Mm,
is very much more of the thing where you see people doing a variety of things. And I
yeah,
don't think that there's anything wrong. I know that like labels are different because there's a bit more of a structure behind it.
mm,
But, as an artist, as a creative, you're like, I don't necessarily want to be wrangled into one thing.
100%, 100%. Yeah,
So, do you ever feel any pressure, like as you're going along? You're a few years into your career as Jamie Unknown. Like, do you ever feel any pressure that I got to figure it out now? Like, I got to plan ahead, or do you kind of go with a feeling?
every single day, I feel pressure every single day, as I'm sure a lot of artists do in the industry.
Mhm.
I think we're it's an interesting time. Even just a few years ago when I first started, it was about solely about the music, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas now, it's often about the marketing on a record, or the promotion and the
Hmm.
TikTok use and the Instagram. And I'm great with Instagram. I'm awful with TikTok. But you know
Same.
why that is? It's not that I find it cringe or anything like that. It's just that I don't want another platform to suck the life out of any time I have in one day.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I know that if I'm using TikTok every day, like it stops me from doing other things that I need to do. And I know that's not the right answer. I know that I should be saying, as obviously working for a label as well, I know I should be saying, oh yeah, I use TikTok, I post every day, like whatnot. But yeah, I think there's credibility in sticking to your guns and
Hmm.
trying to do things the other way. Don't get me wrong, maybe in a few weeks I'll try TikTok again, because I always do. I have like a period where I'll do like 3 or 4 TikToks, and then I'll stop for 3 months, and then I'll come back and do it again. It's just,
Yeah.
but no, going back to what you were saying, there is a constant pressure because the market is so saturated, and there's so many great DJs out there and artists, and there are so many people coming through the ranks now. And more often than not, it sometimes it just takes one song and for you to blow up. There's been a pressure on me, particularly in the past year or two, to continue with the upward trend. Or basically, a few years ago, I guess I wouldn't say I blew up, but like things started to move quite rapidly for
Yeah.
me. Um, and unless you're keeping up with that consistency and getting releases out all the time, like it's so difficult to maintain. In not being able to do that, it has affected things a little bit. Melee, who's an amazing DJ and producer, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He once
No.
tweeted. He once tweeted. It takes 10 years to blow up overnight.
Yes.
And that saying's been said so many times, but it's stuck in my mind, like ever
Hmm.
since I first saw that, when I used to use X now back in the day. Yes, I feel pressure, but at the same time, I'm working things out as they go along, and I'm trying not to let it affect me too much.
That is the best way to go about it. And I'm nobody in the grand scheme of things, but
Mm,
to me, the way that I operate
mm,
is feeling. I think so. On the note of 10 years, I'm at 9 years this year will be that I started my business and working
crazy.
for myself.
Mm,
Time has flown, and I'm not where in my mind I keep thinking like I need to be here, I need to be there. And now I'm at a point now where I'm not fighting myself anymore because I don't want to follow trends. I don't want to do anything that feels inauthentic to me and how I present myself. I'm not about to be doing, dance TikToks. Like that's just I'm almost 40. I'm not doing that. That's crazy. You know what I
Are
mean?
you actually? You don't look it.
Yeah, I'll be 38 in a couple months.
That's crazy.
Oh, I love hearing it. See, Tyler, once again, to my boyfriend, he always,
Yeah.
anytime anyone says that they think I'm younger than I am, I'm always like, and another one. And he's like, shut the up. So I'll take it. That's another one.
Yeah, 100%.
But no, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm at this point where I believe in myself, and it sounds like you're on the same page. I believe in myself. I'm really about the work. I'm
Mm,
focusing on what makes sense for me as the person that's driving the ship, really, because it's me at the end of the day. I don't have a team. It's just me, and then my the community that is built around me,
mm,
around like clients and whatever. And that is a thing that I'm running with. This is what fuels me, because I'm now listening to myself more than I did before, where you're, and with you it's a little different because you have a label, and so then they kind of tell you like you should be doing this, or I don't know how it works with you exactly, but I will say this as one creative to another: stick to the what this in your gut, like you
100%.
have to.
100%. And I also think not just in the industry, in so many different professions,
Hmm.
your career and path is never linear.
No,
It's like,
never.
it's a roller coaster. And most people in the industry, like myself, who release music or DJs, producers, or doing this, like it's never been straightforward to get to that goal, that
Mm-mm.
main goal. So, and I'm a strong believer, if you want something enough, it will happen. Like
Yeah.
genuinely, I'm never going to stop making tunes and doing this. Like I love it too much.
And that's why you should do it.
Exactly.
We have one life. The world is literally, I say this every episode, the world is literally falling apart
Mm,
around us.
mm. Yeah, yeah.
If you're not going after the things that drive you, what are we doing? You know what I mean? What's
Literally,
the point in all
literally,
this?
literally. If I died today, don't get me wrong, there's a lot more things I want to do with this
Of
and in
course.
life, but I'm happy to have got to where I have now.
Yeah.
And that has been purely about devotion and drive and motivation. And I'm not that I'm trying to blow my own trumpet, but I've never had a leg up. Like I've always,
Hmm.
I've started from the bottom.
But it's not blowing your own horn or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Blow my own
it's
trumpet.
legitimate. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, we have, over here we say
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
safe, we know what each other's saying. It's just the term is different,
yeah.
but
Oh,
no, it's the
yeah.
truth. You have to sit and stand in that foundation of,
Mm,
no one helped me. I did this myself. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And it's okay to stand on that. Like, I don't
Mm,
think that there's anything wrong in, or egotistical in just stating a fact. Like those are,
yeah.
it's facts. It's not you being like, look at me, I'm amazing,
Yeah.
but so you touched a little bit on like the early days, but I'm curious to know, like, in the early stages of your life, especially, if you're drawing your future at the age of
Mm,
7,
mm.
like what about that time and how you work today like still informs Jamie in 2026?
Recklessness. I'm joking. No, definitely true. But I guess I always set goals. Like I always, I'm very clear on what I want to do or I need to do to get to somewhere. I actually haven't done it this year properly yet, but at the start of every year, I have a massive whiteboard in my room that gets cleaned, and I write all my goals for the year. And I think it's really important to navigate how you're going to get to the things you want to achieve. Look, when I was younger, like I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like as you mentioned, I went on to become a primary school teacher, but that was because I thought about wanting to get into the music industry, but I just never thought I'd be able to achieve that. Certain adults in my life told me that the industry of music is not a sustainable job, and
Hmm.
I stupidly listened to that and thought I need to go do something that I know will guarantee me a future, which I wish I hadn't listened to.
Hmm.
So I guess actually, yeah, that's where the recklessness was. Recklessness, not maybe not the right word, but I guess disbelief, and
Yeah,
I didn't back myself.
you
I
have
feel like
to.
I waffled a little bit then, but yeah.
Gordon Quinton, on a previous episode of this season,
Mm,
said the same thing. He's like,
yeah,
why the would you
yeah,
listen to somebody who is maybe, and I don't know what your situation is, but like people
that's fine.
who have not gone after their own goals, who are not chasing their dreams, who are not pushing themselves to kind of go outside of the norm of what's
Mm,
expected?
Yeah.
Why would you listen to them? I had people in my own life say, creative, that's like art, design. That's not a viable career path. You can't live off that. And now
100%.
I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, literally.
like
Literally
literally,
same, same.
and it's one of those things where in a non petty way, you
Mm.
can say like, look, I'm doing it, because I'm actually
Yeah.
listening to the thing that's pulling me forward. And that's the whole point of, I think, a creative career path is,
Mm.
I don't want to, I did the 9 to 5 and I wanted to, as the kids say, unalive myself. It was awful. I was so over it. I'm like, I can't do this for somebody else to
Yeah.
be limited. So let me just kind of like let me test the waters and see if I can do this.
Mm.
And, thankfully, and I'm sure you feel the same, it's like, thank God I did it.
100%. Yeah. I mean, like I'm super happy where I am now, but it took a lot of drive to get to this point, and also, I wouldn't be in the music industry now if it wasn't the passion and my hobby. Like my hobby became my career.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully long term career. But like because I was so invested in it, I never thought it would become a full time thing. Just proves if you love something enough. Again, as I said before, if you want something enough, it will happen.
Do you have anything in the books coming up?
I don't yet. Obviously, I had a really good year in terms of shows and
Yeah.
and bookings and whatnot. But I only released 3 tracks last year, which is like the least I've released since things started to go well.
Hmm.
So the next 3 months, like I'm not drinking for the next few months. I'm like fully honing. No, genuinely, like
Yeah.
I'm fully honing in on like getting tunes finished.
There's
That's me. And then let's see, but it was exactly the same this time last year. Like I had no bookings, and then they just come
they
in.
It's
They
good
come
to have
in.
space. It's good to have space to create, though. I think
Mm,
that that's like, even
definitely.
you need that time. You can't just always be on the go, because then you don't actually have time to sit down. So, we can say like, oh, it's like a slower month, but I'm going through the same thing. Right now it's mid-January, we're recording, and it's not a busy month. It's slow. And I'm like, me in the past, I'd be like, it's over. I gotta find a new
Yeah,
job.
yeah,
Like, I gotta start I have nothing. And now I'm like, oh right, like I'm gonna use this time to, because I'm currently going through like a bit of a
100%.
restructure.
Yeah.
And it's all about perspective, right? You can't be like, oh my God, I'm not booked. But
No.
on that note, I gotta ask. So last year,
Mm,
talk to me.
mm.
How was that for you? Because me being a fan from across the pond, I'm like, holy, like you're really giving her. Like, how has that been coming off of that year?
Yeah, look, last year, there were some moments last year that I dreamed of, like since I first started making tunes, and I think it's really important to add, like, I'm not headlining massive festivals. I'm not playing in EDC. I'm not. I'm trying to think of what's over in the US and Canada, but I'm not playing massive shows, but I'm playing shows that I never thought I'd have the opportunity to play by making tunes in my bedroom.
Hmm.
Um, it's like, yeah, it was great. Like, I don't know. It was lovely to finally be able to. Look, I've played a lot of shows in my time. How many of those have been dead, or how many have been shut down early because there weren't enough people there, or how many were warm up slots where I've started at 10 to 11 when no one's in the club yet? So many.
Yeah.
But last year really felt like the first year where I was like closing stages, or in Ibiza, like Pikes, like, yeah, and I needed that. I needed that last year because I was starting to question some things, and if it was all worth still doing. You know,
Hmm.
I think the Pikes show. I don't know if you're familiar with Pikes and Ibiza.
I know the name. I
Yeah,
know that it's that like hotel. It's like a boutique hotel, right?
yeah. So Tony Pike started it, I think, in the 70s or 80s. Like all the celebs would go there and stuff. But it's basically just it's turned into sort of a place where you can be yourself, and it's really intimate, really small. Freddie's room is like the main dance floor, named after Freddie Mercury. He used to stay there, and it's just like an iconic place. And Tisha, who's been one of my biggest supporters,
Love her.
was doing a her label and sort of event thing, Jackfruit. She was doing a club night there, and I'd I played for her at Phonox in London, which is a really cool club again. But I warmed up from 10 until 11 or 11:30, and again that was people were just coming to the venue. And don't get me wrong, it was a great opportunity, and I really enjoyed it. But it just felt like it was really going as I was coming off the decks.
Yeah.
So anyway, got the opportunity. Said, "Do you want to play Pikes?" 100%. She was like, "Can you please close Freddy's?" I was like, "Oh my god!" Like the room was rammed. I could play
Yes.
exactly what I wanted to play, and like knew that within reason, whatever I played, people were enjoying it. And that was the first time I think I'd ever come off stage or finished and been like, "This is what it's really all about."
Yeah.
And I think I got home and I was just like, "You don't give up until you get to do that week in, week out." And I'm not at that point yet. Like I hold my hands up. I'm very realistic, but I have to. That feeling, so good. Like
If the
so good.
intention is there, the work is there. It's not like you said, it's not going to be this.
Exactly.
It could be like this, but
Yeah.
that is that's the whole premise of this podcast, is just talking
Mhm.
to people about the why they're doing what they're doing, you know, the what the moments we come up against, right? Those things that they're going to happen,
Mhm.
and we all do it differently, but at the end of the day, from who industry to industry, creative to creative, entrepreneur, whatever, it's kind of all the same. Like it's our own version of the same thing, where we're kind of all doing this as you know what I mean? Like kind of like in the dark, like feeling around, like none of us know what we're doing, but it's
Yeah.
that feeling, right? And so
100%.
on that note, I'm curious, when you're talking about being at what was it
Pikes.
called again? Pikes.
Pikes, yes.
Pikes.
Mm.
So you're there, the crowd is in full swing, you're the conductor of the energy in the room. Talk to me about that. Like that is one of the things that, as somebody who is usually on the other side, usually always on the other side, what is that like when you're curating this energy in the room?
For starters, there was pressure, 100%. Like when I first went on stage, I was really nervous. And it's the same with any show that I do, like big or small. Yeah, the initial starting point and loading that first track and then making sure that it's a smooth transition from the last DJ who was T-shirt at the time. There, the nerves were there, but then once you do that, you just have this buzz. And like there were certain tunes that you get a reaction, and just once you recognize that everyone's having a good time and they're basically eating out the palm of your hand,
Mm,
you relax so much. Like you know that, yeah, there's nothing worse than doing a DJ set and it not going well, or people aren't dancing, or like crowd reaction is the most important thing a DJ can receive, because it validifies whether, if you're doing things right.
mhm.
Sometimes you might be playing a really good set, but if a crowd not responding, you just don't know. Like you don't know what to do. But that is part of being a DJ, isn't it? Really, it's reading the room. But thankfully with Pikes, it was very easy to read the room.
So what are some of those signs that you get where you're like, oh, I got them?
Hands in the air. I don't know, or yeah, like loads of hands in the air. Obviously, people like shouting, or when a good
Yeah.
tune drops and like you hear the crowd like roar, or like,
Hmm.
oh, it was so sweaty. Like I was wearing a shirt, and I think when I came off, by the end of it, literally, I felt like I just jumped in a bath.
Yes.
But it was great. Like it was great. I probably like lost a couple of pounds. I needed it. Um, and yeah, just like everyone's smiling and having a good time. As I say, like Pikes is a great venue to play at because everyone is there for the right reasons.
Hmm.
There's no phones as well, no phone policy.
Oh, I love that.
Don't get me wrong, I was getting mine out on the odd occasion to do a little
Yeah,
video,
yeah.
but content in it. But yeah, look, it was great and like security are on it as well. Do you know what is funny? Claire Fifi was playing before Tisha that night, and I was in the crowd. And I got my phone out, and then the security came up. So he was like, "No phone away." I was like, "I'm playing." He was like, "I don't care."
You're like, don't I have special privileges?
No, yeah, yeah, but too right. It's good. It's important to like actually stick with that rule. I think it's great that more and more clubs are doing this now. I think it's
Hmm.
important. I've seen some videos of big DJs where they'll play one of their hit records, and literally everyone has their phone out and no one's
Yeah.
dancing. Yeah, it's just like I just don't know. I think if I ever got to that level, fingers crossed, I just don't know how I'd respond. I'd probably just
Yeah.
if you look up, you're playing a hit song and just everyone has their phone out and no one's dancing. I
It's
just probably
weird.
laugh. I probably laugh. It is, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like there will always be a video of something somewhere. You don't need to have that stored on your phone. Like you can
Yeah.
see it online. You can search it on TikTok, Instagram. Like yeah, and don't get me wrong. 10 years ago, I was filming artists at Creamfields when I was in the crowd, and in that moment in time, it's nice to look back on things like that. But
Mhm.
media is so recycled or just like ditched and stuff. No one, what are you going to do with that on your phone? You're not going to look at it every day for the next 10 years. Yes, you might look at it in the future, but I don't think you need to anymore.
No, and that's the thing. Like, if anytime I go to these events, I always say this. Anyone who knows me closely, like, I'm a broken record, but like, I go to these things for the music. I'm there. I'm not
Mhm,
there to socialize. I'm not there to
mhm.
like talk and like hang out. And especially in like certain like gay parties where it's like well, everyone's like trying
Yeah.
to like hang out and chat, and I'm
Yeah.
like, it's just like not like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like I don't want to talk to you right now. I'm like literally trying to vibe with the DJ. You know what I mean?
Mhm, mm.
And I love that so much. And usually if I go with certain friends, I know they're like content freaks, so
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
know I really don't have to look at my phone because I'll just have them send it to me later. I
Unless
just
it's
can't
the
be
get
bothered.
down. Unless it's the
Oh,
get down, then you get your phone out.
I'm not kidding. I think I commented you had posted like your wrapped of like whatever at the end of December of like how many streams or whatever, and I was serious when
Yeah.
I commented on it, and I was like, I listened to that song. It's been in my top 100, like my Spotify wrapped, for the last 3 years.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Like genuinely, like I really love that track. Like it's just that the like opening sequence, like it's so good. I'm sorry, like I just love that track.
Nah,
It's
it's
a
great to hear.
it's so good. So on that note, like putting together, you create music, you create sets, all these things. Like for you, what does like a good creative day look like for you now? And like not just like aspirationally, but like realistically, like when you're going through your day and you're like, okay, I really was productive. Like what does that look like?
I mean, obviously, I have a full-time job with Armada,
Hmm.
which takes up a lot of my time. Um, so, realistically, a good day would be 8 hours of sleep, which is very rare, and then coming into work and signing or establishing new artists that we want to work with here. Firstly, trying to find as much time as I can to focus on Jamie Unknown, which can prove to be really difficult. That's a good day is when I have a full day's work, which is a success, and then I can spend a good 3 or 4 hours working on my own music, which doesn't happen very often. A lot of my friends actually wonder why I'm never free in the week, but I don't really watch TV. Like
That's amazing.
I watch the odd thing, like I watch Stranger Things because I love that, and
Yeah.
like Traitors, UK Traitors is great.
Oh,
Um, are
I'm
you watch?
loving this season. So good.
Are you watching it? Yeah, it's so
Yes,
good, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's so good.
So it's on again tonight, actually. But apart from those two things, I'm genuinely not interested in TV because anytime I see not making music is time wasted.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's difficult because I need to look after my mental health and well-being and whatnot, and not see it that way. But unfortunately, I do. Like because it is difficult when you're working from 9 till 6 every day, or sometimes 9 till 7, and then
Hmm.
I'm trying to get back into the gym. I haven't been for ages, but how am I supposed to balance full-time job, gym, making music, and like genuine no responsibilities? It's really difficult. Mm,
You make the time. You're speaking to the right person because I'm in the same situation as you where I don't have a full-time job in the sense that like I work for someone else. Like I do geographic is my full-time
mm,
gig,
yeah.
but that's still more than a 40-hour work week. And
Mm,
I still don't get me wrong, like the last couple of years I kind of was I found it harder to connect with my work, especially in just you change, we evolve as humans, and you get to a point where you're like, do I really want to do this anymore? Is this something that like similar to you? Like, is this viable? And you become more disconnected to it. And now I've kind of become recharged, especially in the last couple of months. Like I've been really trying to reframe how I look at work.
mm,
But I'm the same as you. I'll say no to so many things. I don't on the weekends, like I'm not as social as I used to be because I'm at this point now where once again, I'm driving the ship. No one else is doing it for me. I work weekends, I work nights, I work,
Yeah.
the podcast has taken up way more of my time. I can't afford to have somebody edit for me and to hire out, ABC help. I'm not there yet, but I'm working towards something this kicking off in the future, and
Yeah.
so when you can make the time, you make the time. If you do need the downtime, sometimes it's just as long as like I truly believe if you have the vision in your head of where you want to go, if you take a couple days off, it's okay. You know,
Yeah.
not the end of
Yeah.
the world.
I know, and I definitely do take a few days off. Like I feel like my problem is if I go out at the weekend and have a big night out, like that is my creative juices gone
Yeah.
for like a good 3 or 4 days.
Do you ever go out and like go sober?
No. um, no, like do you know what I'm trying to do it more so now. It's very rare that I don't DJ without having a few drinks,
Yeah, yeah.
um, but I played a show recently which I had like half a beer and like it was fine. I cycled home, like went to bed like 3
Mhm.
a.m. and I was like, this is great. But no, like as a punter going to an event, no. I've done it, but look, as I say, like I'm really trying to focus on not drinking at the moment. So I think it would be a good idea for me to try and do that.
I will say as so I and anyone listening has heard me say this. So it'll be in the spring of this year, it'll be 3 years that I haven't had alcohol.
That's amazing.
And it was one of those things where towards the end I was like, I don't even like this. Like, what am I doing?
Mm-mm.
And so now going to shows, did you say
Yeah.
punter? Was that what you said?
Yeah,
Is that
punter.
is that somebody who like attends shows?
Yeah, just as someone who's not there for work reasons, just there to
Okay.
like have a
Yeah. So as a punter, for me, I've gone to a few shows sober over the last couple of years, and
Mm.
honestly, it's really nice. Like I can still vibe, have a
Yeah.
good time, and then go home. I'm not working in music, so it's a little different.
Mm.
But I will say that there's a huge like I don't know, like it made me realize, because our culture is so steeped in alcohol is everywhere.
100%.
Especially
Yeah.
when I first stopped drinking, it was like the first year you realize so much how it's like woven into the fabric of society. It's really hard. It's really
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, I
So,
think but more and more people now are just quitting alcohol. Like even in the music industry, some of the biggest artists are sober.
mhm.
It can play a massive impact on your mental state and stuff if you're constantly drinking it and potentially other things, obviously. Um,
It always
and
leads to
yeah, no, of
that.
course, but it's yeah, I think it's something that's talked about more and more now, and
Mhm.
more artists. Thankfully, I don't feel at this current moment that I need to stop drinking alcohol. I just know that folks get like honing in and actually locking in, as everyone keeps saying, for the
Yeah.
next few months is gonna set me up for the year much better than if I was going out and having it large every weekend. I love to do as well, but
Listen, oh, you're talking to a retired party girl,
yeah.
okay? Like my 20s and most of my 30s, I'm not saying I will never dabble again, but
Mm,
it's, I've done everything under the sun. I've been
yeah.
to music festivals, I've been to parties, I've been to after hours, I've done it all. Like anything that you can think of,
Mm,
this phase has
yeah.
been there. So like I'm coming from a place where it's like, listen, at your own pace, sometimes we're like, even the way you're saying it, you're like, oh, like I know I should slow down on the drinking, whatever. It's like
Yeah,
you'll do it when in the way that makes sense for you, and if you don't, that's also your path. Like there's
true,
no right or wrong way to do it.
true.
Um, but I will say a right way to do it, and I've been meaning to bring this up, is taking space from the creative process. Sometimes we need that
Yes.
space away from it. So we both recently took space away from life when
We did.
because we were talking and we both did, and I know this is probably so annoying to anyone listening because I can't stop talking about it, but we both were in Thailand. Basically, we like crossed paths on the you left the day that I got there.
Literally, I know. Well, what are the chances?
Yes, when I saw you had posted that you were there, and I was like, I'm gonna be there. You're like, and you're, I anyway. How was that trip for you? How was it?
Honestly, one of the best experiences I've ever had. But also, it made me think like all of my friends did the whole traveling thing when they were like 18, 19, 20, 21.
Hmm.
I couldn't financially do it at that age,
Yeah,
and then obviously one thing or another, I went to uni, I got a full time job teaching, and then I just haven't had a chance to do it, and obviously finally doing it at this age, just to experience that, yeah, it was amazing. Just have 2.5 weeks off work,
hmm.
completely switch off, see some incredible sights, experience some amazing cultures. Even managed to get a DJ set in at the same time in
Love it.
Cambodia. So, but yeah, so like I was meant to be in Thailand for 2.5 weeks, but it was monsoons. I think you just missed it,
I
thankfully.
did miss it.
So we were there for like me and my friend Ben, who also works for Armada. Yeah, we were in Thailand for like a week, and we were just like the weather. It's been cloudy every day we've been here, so we went to
Hmm.
Cambodia. But I would go back there in a heartbeat. My mates are there now. Literally, I'm literally receiving like updates from them every hour of what
I
they're up to.
love it.
But yeah, what an amazing experience. I mean, I assume you had a great time as well. Obviously, how long were
Oh,
you there for?
I was there for just under 3 weeks.
Okay, nice.
It was amazing. Where we were staying, so we went down south to Koh Chang, so one of the
Yeah,
islands,
yeah,
and that was amazing. And because we were where we were, there was like no, we it was raining in other parts. I think while we
yeah,
were there was like a flood somewhere on the mainland. I'm like a freak, okay, when it comes to my work and my business. Like I can't over the years, anyone who knows me, like I can't separate. I'm
yeah.
always thinking about work.
Mm,
And this was one of the first times that I actually was able to like check out. And actually I didn't I checked into work here and there, but I was not like, oh my god, like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, needs to do this, needs to do
stressed in this way that was. And it's those moments that I'm realizing that, that work life balance of,
that. Yeah, yeah.
I took that time off and then came back to work like genuinely recharged in a way where I'm
Mm,
like, all right, let's kill 2026. And I don't know, I don't know about you, but to me those moments of, okay, like work is not the end all be all. I'm not saving children, like from starvation in other parts of the world. Like I'm working on brands like web design, like
yeah,
who
yeah,
cares?
yeah.
And so I don't know, like I find that those moments where you can actually like unplug and actually avoid burnout. You know what I mean?
Do you know what's funny though is I automatically in my head as soon as we booked it, I was like, great, I've got 2.5 weeks to make loads of music because I saw that as being away from work. So that's time to invest. It's going back to what I said earlier. Anytime when I'm not working, I should be making music.
Yeah.
Um, did I boot up my Logic and start making music once? No, and it's because I needed that. And I actually just said to
Yeah.
myself, "Do you know what? Like anything you make here is not right. You need to actually relax." Did we relax? Yeah, but like we did a lot of traveling, and I feel like I came back from that holiday a bit like I need a holiday
Oh yeah.
because we went to I think we did 7 internal flights like in the space of 2.5 weeks, and then
That's a lot.
yeah, but yeah, I would love to go back in a heartbeat every year if possible. It's reignited my love for traveling. Sorry, I say reignited. I've never really traveled. That was the first time I'd ever left. It's the first time I've ever been to Asia. So yeah.
And the thing is, you said, a lot of my friends went when they were
Mm.
younger.
Mm.
How old are you?
29. So
Okay, so
wait, hang on, no, I'm 30. Why did I just say 29? That's
because
the
you're maybe
first time I've
subconsciously you're like, you
maybe.
can't face it.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever done that before.
But at your age now, like we're not kids anymore, and you
Mm.
probably enjoyed it way more than you would have, because people are like, oh, you're going to Thailand, you're gonna go. I'm like, I'm not doing. I'm once again, I'm not 20. I'm not doing
Yeah, yeah,
the stereotypical Thailand trip. Like it was very different, and you're able to enjoy it in a way that is so you're probably more connected to it, than you would be if you're
yeah,
like
yeah.
up on a beach puking under the full moon.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. We had a good time and we were drinking a lot, but we actually got up and did stuff in the day. Like I didn't
Yeah.
just mong on the beach. Like I went saw loads of things that I wanted to experience, but I probably wouldn't have wanted to do when I was 20. So yeah, you're
Mhm.
completely right.
Yeah.
I also feel like I didn't wake up with. I woke up with one really bad hangover, but apart from that, like every day I was waking up feeling fine, which is quite
Yeah,
rare. I usually get really bad hangovers, so
that's great. You know,
yeah.
well, they're not going to get any better as you as you progress.
No.
How long have you been DJing now? 5 years?
Um,
Like
let's
as Jamie Unknown.
yeah. So well, when I first started a project, I had some weird names. I had some really bad names when I first started. I think my first one was Lightwork, Litewerk,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was like, no, that was about 6 years ago, probably. And then I was like, no, this isn't working. And then I was just sat. I remember sat in my bedroom, making music, just looking out of the window, just looking out of the window, thinking, what am I going to call myself? There was a can of Stella Artois
Mm-hmm.
on the windowsill. I was like, I'm
Classic.
going to call myself Stella. I was drinking at the time. Stella, yeah, all right, Stella. And then I don't know. Basically,
You just
but
felt it didn't fit.
yeah, it didn't fit. And then yeah, and then I changed it to Jamie Unknown, and then it stuck. And then I got my first record signed after that, and then yeah, went from there. So yeah, I've been DJing, I guess, properly for like, well, producing and DJing for like 6 years, I
And
guess.
so in that time, how have you found the evolution of your identity? You know, we talk about brands on the show, you talk about
Mm.
what it means to like be a packaged identity. Like for you, how has that evolved from when you started to now in 2026?
Just being yourself 100%, 120%. Be yourself. Don't try to be something you're not. I think a lot of people, yeah, it's like again get pigeonholed into something
Yeah.
that they're not. And I think I like to be very real as the person I am, and I'm still figuring it out. I still don't feel like I've got a proper brand identity, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's important to roll with it and see what happens.
It just means you're presenting
Basically,
authentically.
yeah, exactly. And as I say, there's a lot of people in the scene who probably are trying to be something they're not. I'd never want to be something I'm not. I always want to be genuine and organic and true to myself.
But even online, like how you present. So, like, when I say present, I just mean like what you put out there, right? Our social media, that is who we are basically. Like that's how we can
Mm.
sell ourselves as, independent creatives with our own little business that we're doing. But even in how you come off, you seem like I'm a real person. I'm not this like
Yeah,
packaged
yeah, yeah, yeah.
entity, which to me I respect so much because you're at this stage in your career where maybe there isn't any external pressure. You're able to kind of, like I keep saying, like steer the ship or whatever in the way that feels authentic to you, which I'm sure connects with your fan base as it's starting to grow. And like, do you find, like, have you had, what is the feedback you're getting? What's the energy you're getting online from people who are following you?
I think like a great example of someone who does what I do. I don't do it quite as well, but Fred again.
Mm,
Fred again is relatable because he shows himself sat in a cafe making music, or he speaks to the audience, or like, oh, I've been thinking about this or whatnot. And that just connects with people. Like it's important to show the audience that you are just like them. You're not some stuck up DJ and producer who's like going to shows and doesn't care about anyone. You're just a normal
yeah.
human being. And look, I'm not slating this or saying it's a bad thing to do, but they'll put like if I happen to be in their close friends,
Hmm.
DJ, like they'll put them with their mates out on a night out socializing with them at a pub, but then they won't put anything on the main feed. But like I don't see the point of that. I want to show people that I'm at the pub with my mates having a drink, and I'm just doing what any normal person would do. I'm not at that level yet, not where I wouldn't be doing, not doing what
You
I
might
normally do.
eventually, where you're like, I can't
Well,
be.
yeah, yeah, but no, but I just think, yeah, it's important to show people that you're human as well.
Yeah, of course. So a big part of my the show here is
Mm.
talking to people about, it's in the opener, like these what the moments that we come up against, because we all have them. There's so many things that we come up against as we're like, on this path of like, Jesus Christ, we have to deal with all
Mm.
these things. Do you have any like what the moments that have happened as you've been on this journey?
So obviously, I went to I ended up going to university to train to be a primary school teacher. The only reason I did that was because I was at college and we had these enrichment days where you would go and work somewhere for a day and experience that. It was like an experience day. I hadn't signed up to anything because I was useless. And and my politics teacher at the time, Jess, big up Jess, she said to me, you know, my husband's a primary school teacher. Do you just want to come with us for the day to the school and, you know, work with the kids and whatnot? And I was like, yeah, all right, fine, why not? Yeah, fine. Um, went and I had like, it was a great day. It was a great experience to do that. But I remember I was reading with a young child, and then afterwards, Jess, the politics teacher, said, "You make a really good teacher." And you know, I was like, "All right, I don't know what I'm going to do in life. I'll just do that." Went to uni, did that, and then sort of realized after 6 years of doing that that as much as I love teaching, it wasn't what I wanted to do in life,
Hmm.
and music was. So I went for an interview. I applied for an interview at Armada, which is massive global record label.
Hmm.
For those who might not be familiar, and I applied for a label assistant. I didn't think I would even get an interview, and I got an interview. Went for that. Didn't get it sadly because it didn't feel like it was the right role for me. And obviously, understandably, when you hear that from someone, you automatically think, okay, fine, that is what it is. And then 3 months later, I got a call saying that they were advertising for an A&R, which arguably is, you know, one of the most important positions within any label, let alone Armada. And yeah, I applied for it and I was offered the role. So I guess my what the moment was I never ever expected I would be signing records for one of the biggest, you know, independent or the biggest independent dance label in the world. You know, as we said earlier, that's all due to perseverance and a hobby that I just loved so much and never stopped doing. You know, a little bit of luck along the way, I think, but
There's always luck. That is a big
always,
thing. I truly believe it. There's got to be some magic to the things that happen to us.
yeah.
But now that you're on kind of both sides of it, does working in A&R inform your work as a DJ? Like, do they kind of inform each other at all?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Not always in a good way. No, no, genuinely, you know, I think, you know, because we work with some amazing artists, the level of music, you know, I think is amazing that we put out. It makes me question everything that I make. I scrutinize whatever I'm making more than I ever have.
Mm,
I was thinking the other day, and actually, I feel like I was making better music when I knew less. Um,
okay.
because I had less judgment or less thoughts, or even in terms of the actual software that I use now, I feel like I've learned that. I've learned so much more about that. So it means that I ponder things so much more.
Mm.
Um, but also it's made me become realistic and understand the industry more than I ever would have if I wasn't doing the role that I'm doing now.
It might just be for now, though. I think that, and once again, like, I don't really know you, but
Mm,
when we become super particular about the work that we're doing, I find, especially in my own world, my best work is when I'm in that flow state. I know it's so cheesy to say, but it's like
mm.
facts where, because I love to draw and paint on. Do I do it often? No. Because I'm like, just like you, like with my day gig, I'm creatively tapped. So at the end of the day,
Mm,
I have to make time to be creative outside of like digital formats, right?
yeah.
And so before, when I was younger, like I would put so much pressure on myself, like this thing has to be perfect, and if I didn't, if it came out differently, I would just like crumple it up and throw it away and be so stressed at myself. And
Mm.
now, if I sit down to do something, I'm like, do not judge, just get it on the paper, get it on the canvas, whatever it
100%.
is, just do it. And usually I'm like, oh, look what I did. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and not even in an ego way, just like, look what came from my brain.
Yeah, I'm trying to, or I am starting to have that mentality again. It's
Hmm.
taken me a long time, a really long time. I'd probably say a good year and a half, and I'm really trying to learn to stop comparing myself to others
Yeah.
because that is my biggest downfall.
Oh,
Um,
what's that saying? The comparison is the thief of joy. Like,
I've never heard that, but that's yeah, spot
you know what
on.
I mean? It's like just do
Spot
you.
on, 100%. And I'll make music and I think it's great at the time, and then a week later I'll listen to it. I'll be like, "This is I'm not doing anything with this."
Mhm.
But then I listen back to some of the old music I was making, and I feel this is probably better than that was. But then, as I say, the less I know, the better was. And yeah, I think there's two things that I've taken into 2026 is to not compare myself to others so much, and just put music out or
Mhm.
get stuff finished.
I know this is the cheesiest question, but I just want to ask, like, what are you finding inspiring right now? Like, what are you looking at that's like, giving you a little feeling?
Well, automatically I focus on music, so I guess something that I haven't heard before. Like I'm hearing some stuff from some artists, and it feels so fresh, even though it's everything goes in cycles, right? So like
Mm.
some '90s, sometimes '90s music has come back now. There's an artist that I'm listening to at the moment. He's making amazing music, and it's just stuff that sounds like it was from the '90s, but given a 2026 lick of paint, and it's just like it sounds fresh, but then also relatable. I don't know. Yeah, I
Like
think
nostalgic.
nostalgic. Yeah, 100%. And don't get me wrong, in the '90s, I mean, I was a fetus in '95. Like, wasn't listening to music, but like, but I guess it works for me because I was listening to music from a young age. So it's
Mm.
yeah. But anything inspiring to me at the moment is just people being different, not following the crowd. Because as soon as you start to follow the crowd, that crowd will be oversaturated, and then it'll be too late. Like there are particular sounds in music at the moment that are building hype or a particular genre, and I know that everyone's starting to jump on that. But by the time they've cemented themselves in that sound, there'll be a new sound coming in. So it's always important to stick to your guns, stay true to yourself, and make what you want to make.
100%. There's so many things, especially even in design, like you see,
Yeah.
remember how a couple years ago that like the Y2K trend was everywhere.
Yes.
Aesthetically, everything was like that sheen, that, like really like purple pink kind of aesthetic that
Graffiti, sort of.
oh,
Yeah, yeah,
it was just so like I had no first of all, I'm like, I lived through that. I don't need to relive it. And there's so many trends that, I have these newsletters I subscribe to, and they're like, oh, 2026, like website trends or branding trends
yeah,
or all these
yeah,
things. And
yeah.
I'm like, I don't care. Like and people are like, you need to be informed. You need to know what's going on. I'm like, I'm just gonna once again, I don't give. I'm just gonna vibe and feel what feels right. And
Yeah,
I'm still kicking. I'm still able to pay my bills. I think I'm good.
yeah, 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 100%.
You got to stick to that because otherwise, what are we doing? I think that all these people, like you said, even sonically, like you said,
Mhm.
there's so many things that all of a sudden all these songs sound the same.
Yeah.
There's so much out there that sounds the same, and sometimes when you get
Mhm.
that like that one that clicks, and you're like,
Mhm.
then you
Yeah,
really love it.
100%. And but then again, people start to follow that, so it's like, yeah.
So as you're going on this journey, like what's one thing that you're finding? You talked about being present, being authentic. You're growing a fan base, you're building on your brand. Like what's one thing that you're still feeling like you're figuring out?
I could probably name you a few, but I guess the main thing for me is where I want to take my sound. And we touched on this to begin with, but I've been walking this tightrope between house and garage, I guess. But some people say that I'm garage, some people say that I'm house. But I don't really know truly what sound I want to go with or where I want to go, which I probably shouldn't be saying out loud because this doesn't sound good to labels or to promoters. There are other artists that still say they're still figuring out the sound. Like I don't know when I will have figured that out. I don't know if I ever will. I don't know if I want to figure it out. I like doing a bit of everything. Um, so that's probably the main thing for me. I think that is it.
That's
I
an
mean,
answer.
yeah, yeah,
That's a valid answer. I think that that's what life is at the end of the
mm,
day. It's like anytime, especially we live in a world where like therapy and self-help and all these things, we're constantly like figuring out ourselves or trying to
mm,
unravel the knot of our like trauma, whatever the buzzwords are now. And it's like as soon as you get a grip on one thing, there's other it's not like it's like, oh, I
yeah,
got this. Like I've ascended and now I figured it out. Like we're constantly evolving, and every experience we have, every year that we live, you have more that you've seen or witnessed or purged from yourself or you've gained. And so your perspective changes, and that's always going to change. So as an artist, as a creative, to say, yeah, I don't really know where I want to go, I think that's valid. A
Mm,
lot of
mm.
people listening can probably say, yeah, I see myself in that.
Yeah, yeah. That makes me feel better.
Who knew this is therapy with Geo?
Can we do this every week?
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, I would love it. It'd be interesting to see, like, in a year from now, where we could touch base to see like where things have
Do you know
gone.
what? That'd be really cool. Yeah,
Okay,
let's make sure we do that.
I'll hold you to it. In
Yeah,
January 27, we'll see like what's been evolving for you.
nice.
So we're nearing the end, and we've talked a lot about where you've been, like I said, where you're going. So if you could look back and see, like, give past version of yourself some advice, like what would you say?
Chase your dreams. Don't ever do anything else. If you want something, go with your gut and go for that. I
Hmm.
wasted too many of my years in things that didn't truly make me happy. I wish that I'd not gone to uni to become a primary school teacher. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely loved the time I spent, and it was I learned a lot in myself and just in general. But I wish I'd gone to music. Well, I did go to music college for a little bit, but I wish I'd gone to university to study music, or I wish I'd just gone straight into a music industry role if I could. Or basically, yeah, I feel like this is what I've always wanted to do, and I didn't get into it until I was 28 years of age, and I could have been in it a lot sooner. So I hope. Look, I
I
mean,
don't.
you can't guarantee that, but
I think everything happens at the time it's meant to. Like, regret is a fool's game. For you to say I regret, for you to do that, that's what you needed to do for you to really solidify. No,
true.
actually, I want to do music. Right? Like,
Yeah,
I'm not trying
yeah.
to
Yeah.
be like woo woo here, but it's facts, right?
No, no,
E-
you're completely right. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, everything informs the current, right? I could look back and say, oh, I regret doing this, that, and whatever. But right now, if I look at my life, I'm like, I'm actually really happy with where things are. So
Mm.
all the shit I did, all the things I fucked up on were for a reason. And so now I'm like, okay, I can actually take charge of what I'm doing and say, like, yeah, I got myself here. At the
Yeah.
time it was meant to, and in the space where I could actually appreciate it in this way. Because if I had where I'm at now 10 years ago, I would have fucked it up.
Do you know what? Yeah, you're actually. If I hadn't gone into a professional career, and I went straight into the industry, then yeah, perhaps I would have as well. So
Hmm.
you're right. I guess I don't know if regret was the right word, but I think for me, I wish I'd chased my dreams sooner than I did,
Hmm.
and I didn't doubt or listen to others quite so much.
But
Um,
that also needed to happen. Anyway, we could go on forever
yeah, yeah,
about
no, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah.
that.
Yes, yes,
Anyway,
you're right.
and so my final question, I ask this to every individual that I talk to. My whole platform is around branding, about, image, etc. So in your own words, what would you say is the most on brand thing about Jamie Unknown?
I remember I sent you this, but I can't remember now. It was making music,
Hmm.
cracking jokes,
Hmm.
staying unbothered.
I love that.
Thanks.
And stay. Listen, this has been awesome. I'm so honored to have you be part of this. Like, this really means the world to me. The fact that I get to interact with one of my favorite artists, like, this is like, I feel like holy. And I know you don't want to hear it, but genuinely, like, your music is amazing. I'm so excited to see what is coming for you in the future. I'm gonna follow up. We're gonna do a follow up in a year from now.
Let's
I think that
do
would
it.
be amazing to say, like, hey, where have things gone?
100%.
And
Also, I've just looked at the time. I didn't realize that's gone so quickly.
I love it. See, I love to hear that. That's a good sign. But to anyone listening who wants to listen to your music, wants to connect with you, like, where can they find you online?
So on Instagram at Jamie Unknown underscore.
Hmm.
Spotify, obviously, or whatever platform you use, Jamie Unknown. I don't really use Facebook. I don't think anyone does it anymore.
No, I don't. I
And
dropped off that.
yeah, yeah, like give me a follow, and yeah, keep up to date with things and where they're going.
And to anyone listening, if you want to follow the podcast, we're at Spotify, Instagram, anywhere you stream on YouTube. Would love a subscribe. If you want to send an email to me, you can send it at graphiccontentpod@gmail.com. Once again, Jamie, I want to thank you so much, Jamie Unknown, and we'll talk soon. Bye.
Bye. Was I meant to say bye then as well?
Yeah, it's fine. You did it. You did it.